One thing I've always been, and maybe to my detriment, is a straight shooter. It hasn't always made me popular in the world of martial arts, especially not with the reality-based rip people's faces off crew. One of my biggest gripes I have is with those who say they are training for self-defense, but yet don't want to hear the realities of what is likely needed more than physical fighting skills. Here's the thing, and you can ignore it if you like. If you are truly honest about wanting to learn how to defend yourself, then start with yourself first. And here I don't mean the obvious, like learning physical fighting techniques. I mean really work on yourself. In other words, those behaviors that hold you back from excelling in life. For example, if you are an aggressive person, short-tempered, and easily lose your shit, then trouble will always find you. Of course, there are bad people in the world that would want to do others harm, but how you show up in your life goes a much further way to keeping you out of harm's way than going to another reality-based self-defense class. In other words, do something about your anger problems. Learn how to change your behavior through inner state training. Learn instead to show up in life everywhere, on the street, at work, with those you love, in the line at the supermarket, wherever you find yourself, calm. Do you know what will start to happen? You will begin to feel confident and self-assured. People will respect you more, and guess what? Less people will actually look for trouble with you. In other words, work on becoming a nice person and others will be nice back to you. And if they don't, and you're still nice, you win. You win because you never let them have any power over you. You give away your personal sovereignty every time you allow someone else to dictate your inner state. That is the ultimate self-defense defeat. And guess what too? Nothing I just noted requires you to learn another punch, elbow, or headbutt. Those fighting skills you will likely hardly ever use anyway, especially if you're like most people who take up self-defense lessons in the West. But the training or getting your shit right inside, well, that's something you will use everywhere. From the first moment in the morning as you open your eyes and the first thoughts you have about yourself, to the last moment of the day when that person who just cut you off in traffic doesn't own you by getting you pissed off. Most people who spend all these countless hours in reality-based self-defense schools around the world need just to be honest that what they need isn't likely the fighting skills to defeat a would-be attacker, but rather the much harder training of overcoming their inner opponent inside. That much harder training of overcoming your inner opponent inside is a clue to why so many people avoid that kind of inner training. Because it's fucking hard. It's far easier to go into a reality-based self-defense school a few times a week and do some prescribed movement patterns against a known attacker with a partner who doesn't fight back, than take on your inner opponent that you have spent your lifetime incorrectly conditioning, who will put up a real fight anytime you want to change your behavior.